Hi everybody, it's Sherry with the CGH Health Foundation, and I'm back with another easy, healthy recipe for our What's Cooking CGH video series. So today I want to talk to you about oats and oatmeal. I love oatmeal. I eat it almost every day, and one of the reasons that I eat a lot of oatmeal is because of the health benefits. The soluble fiber in oatmeal is beta-glucans is another word for the soluble fiber. And it has been studied and shown that it might potentially have great benefits for our cholesterol numbers, our blood pressure, our blood sugar. And so I make sure to eat a lot of oats, and I really do like them. But even I get tired of like just plain old oatmeal. And so today I thought I would show you a recipe for a fancier version of oats. It's still really healthy, and I call it my basic baked oatmeal. And basic because there are a lot of variations, and I'm going to tell you about some of the variations. So let me get started. I am starting with 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed. And in this recipe, the flaxseed meal, it's ground flaxseed, is taking the place of eggs. So this is a baked oatmeal. And I have 2 tablespoons of the ground flaxseed in my bowl, along with 6 tablespoons of water, and it's been sitting here for about 4 or 5 minutes. Flaxseed meal itself has been studied and has some potentially very good benefits for us. For women, it's cancer protective for breast cancer, and potentially helpful for our cholesterol and blood pressure numbers too. And like I said, it's taking the place of eggs here, which have fat and cholesterol, so we're going to take them out of our baked good. So this is our liquid ingredients. I'm going to add about a half a cup of applesauce, and that's unsweetened applesauce. And this is going to just add a little body and additional moisture and a touch of sweetness to our recipe. And then I'm going to add a cup and a half of milk to the bowl. And I'm using soy milk. You could really use any kind of milk. I always have soy milk on hand. If you wanted to lighten up the calories a lot, you could use some almond milk, which you can find varieties of that that are only 30 calories a cup. So that was a cup and a half. And again, any kind of milk you want. I'm going to add a little more sweetness to it. And you could use any kind of sweetener, a little sugar, a little honey. I'm going to use a little maple syrup and whisk that in here. And the last thing I'm going to add into these wet ingredients is, and this is not a wet ingredient, but adding it into the wet ingredients helps to kind of disperse it a little bit. This is a teaspoon of baking powder. I don't like to do a lot of dishes, so I try to do everything in one bowl. Okay, so I've got that all whisked together. I might put a dash or 2 of salt in there, not very much. And now I'm ready for the oats. I have old-fashioned rolled oats, nothing fancy, very inexpensive. And you want the whole rolled oats, not the instant oats or anything in the little packages. Okay, and I'm going to put in 3 cups of whole rolled oats. There we go. And just going to take my spatula and stir everything together until all the oats are kind of soaked in, no dry ones left. You could add a little bit of cinnamon if you wanted to. That's going to be one of the variations. But if you just want to eat this the way it is and you want it to have a little bit more flavor, you could maybe add a teaspoon of cinnamon to this. And then you would have just a real good basic baked oatmeal. Okay, so I have an 8x8 baking pan here, and I've got it lined with a little bit of parchment paper. You could also, grease a baking pan or a baking sheet. I just like to use the parchment paper. And I'm just going to dump the whole oat mixture in there. we go. Use my spatula to spread it out a little bit. I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees, and I'm going to put it in the oven and watch it. It'll take about 20 or 30 minutes at 350 degrees, and I'll meet you right back here. So here we are back with our basic baked oatmeal. So I left it in the oven for about 25 minutes, maybe 26 minutes. And I was just waiting until I could see that the edges were nice and golden brown in the pan. And the advantage of using the parchment paper is I was able to lift it right out of the pan and put it on the plate. So let us serve ourselves a little square and see how it tastes. Looks delicious. Looks just like an oatmeal cake. That is so good. Just lightly sweet. If you like oatmeal, you will love this. I was talking about variations, and so additions that you could make to flavor this a little differently. You could add a whole chopped apple along with the cinnamon that we talked about, and maybe some nuts if you can eat nuts. How about a banana walnut version? Replace the mashed applesauce with a mashed banana and some frozen or fresh blueberries and some walnuts. That would be a great option. I think my favorite, and the way I flavor my oatmeal a lot, is to make a chocolate cherry version. And so you could add a quarter cup of cocoa powder, and maybe a cup of fresh or frozen cherries chopped up, and replace add some vanilla extract. The one I'm going to try next, and hopefully it will be good, but I think it'll be a fancy version that I can serve for friends and family for holiday breakfast, if anybody's staying with you, would be to make a carrot cake version. A cup of grated carrots, about a quarter cup of raisins maybe, a teaspoon of cinnamon, maybe a quarter teaspoon of ginger, and then you could add a couple of tablespoons of vanilla to enhance the kind of carrot cakey flavor, maybe even some chopped pecans. So that's the one I'm going to try next. You can find this recipe and all of my past recipes on our blog. I hope you give it a try and let me know what you think.